Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Todd's Tips segment. If you're part of Voiceover, if you're not, welcome. So this is usually where Dad gives tips regarding small business voiceover, which is the industry that we are in. A lot of these tips are things he gives me to think about, use, employ, whatever you want to call it, as I am building my business. I'm coming up on 2 years. So without further ado, take it away, Todd.
The segment is called Todd's Tips, but we also have been focusing for the last few months on some do's and don'ts. These are do's and don'ts that I do with regard to my business, voiceover business, and I think they're worthy to be thought about. You have to apply them to your business. It might be voiceover, it might be some other business. They're certainly general principles, business principles, but we always put these caveats here because we want to make sure that you understand that you need to take into account that I may have a different situation than you do. So you might have to think a little differently. You might have to apply them differently. You might have to, take it a little slower or take it a little faster or do a little more or a little less. You might just reject them completely once you try them or you think about it. But the bigger thing is not to just reject them out of hand. Just do some thinking about it. And I think a lot of them can be applied to your business, whether it's voiceover or not, but especially voiceover. So here's a do. I do believe in the diversity and stability of direct email marketing. I do believe in the diversity and really thus the stability of direct email marketing. I began doing direct email marketing back in 2012. Now, back then, there weren't as many options available in pay-to-plays and in free platforms like Fiverr and Upwork and things like that. And so it just made logical sense for me to do direct email marketing. And so I did it like a madman. Anytime I didn't have a project to do, which was not very often, especially when I first started, I did marketing, cold calls, and direct email marketing. Slowly but surely, I started to get a few clients, a few jobs, and some of those clients came back and became recurring clients. By 2015, now think about that, I did 8 hours basically for the first year or so of direct email marketing, 8 hours a day for the first 2 years, 2012, 2013, probably almost into 2014. And by 2015, I had made $81,000. So it took me 3 years to get that kind of traction. I decided to hire a marketing assistant at that point. I was getting really good traction. I thought it was a good idea to stay behind the microphone because that's where I make my money. And anytime I took my headphones off and got out from away the microphone, I was losing money. So I hired an assistant. 2016, I surpassed six figures. I made $137,000. And ever since, every year, it's been multiple six figures that I've made. Now, that's no VO coaching, no VO demo producing, no or very little VO production. And what I mean by that is doing the whole production, not just voiceover, doing music, doing sound effects, dubbing, syncing, different things like that. Basically just voiceover. That's what I do. Mm-hmm. In 2023, my direct email marketing income was $800 short of $200,000. Yes, I do believe in diversity and stability of direct email marketing. It's always been between 60 and 80% of my income. Direct email marketing is diversity within diversity. Platforms, algorithms, agents, clients, they can come and go. They can change. They can go up and down. But when you have the diversity of lots of clients that you work with directly, one can go out of business. One, unfortunately, here or there passes away. Their business model changes. But you can take that because you might have 50 or 60 or 100 direct email marketing clients, and you can go get more to fill in the gaps. During the COVID pandemic, so many, I hear this, and you probably had this happen to you. So many voiceover talent went out of business. had to get part-time jobs or lost a great percentage of their income because of that. They were hurting big time. And that was sad. I talked to a lot of them, and I felt for them. My VO business grew from $231,000. During the pandemic year, it went to $329,000, so $98,000 increase during the pandemic year. So most of that was due to direct email marketing. Diversity within diversity is stability. That's my point. When you have diversity and diversity within diversity, which is direct email marketing, that gives your business a good chance to grow and be very stable. So here's the $1 million question. Why doesn't everybody do direct email marketing? I'll tell you why. Here's a couple of reasons. And you hear us talk about this all the time. First, direct email marketing is a numbers game. You have to put a lot in to get very little out. And then when you get a little out, you've got to cultivate those clients carefully. You've got to work with them. You've got to perform for them. You got to service them. You got to bend over backwards to keep them. And it's a numbers game. And a lot of people don't like to be disciplined, and they don't like organization. And that's what it takes. A numbers game is just, practically speaking, discipline and organization. You have to do the work day in and day out of going and getting these people and then keeping track of them. And second of all, why people don't do it, why everybody doesn't do it, it's a long haul mentality. As I said right at the beginning, I started like a madman 2012, marketing almost all day, every day. And it took me until 2015. That's 3 years. 3 years I invested in direct email marketing. And that's when I really started to take off. And that's when I made $81,000, hired my marketing assistant, Andy. He's still with me today. And the rest, quote, is history. But that's why people don't do it, because it's a numbers game, takes organization and discipline, and it is a long haul mentality. I talk to so many people. They say, yep, I know exactly what you're talking about, long haul. In their minds, 2 or 3 months. In my mind, 2 or 3 years. You just need to understand that. That's what we're up against. It just takes that amount of time. We were talking with a local businessman, and he was saying how, it takes 10,000 hours to get really good at something. And I believe it. I mean, it might be 8,000, it might be 12,000, but it just takes time. And it takes time to build a business, and you can't be in it for a few months, whether it's direct email marketing or something else, and expect yourself to be successful. And that's what we talk about very often. We talk about that, is just stay in there, hang in there, be tough. If you have to do some editing for me, if you have to do this or that, stay in there, be consistent, outlast the competition. And people just, honestly, a lot of people don't have the stomach for direct email marketing or business in general. That's the kind of the facts, the hard facts, but it's the truth. So you just need to understand what you're up against.
Well, thank you. I mean, like you said, those are things we talk about all the time, especially lately. We talked about it even back, a year ago when I was really slow all the time, and just, put in the work, and I'm putting it in, and I'm seeing fruits of my labor. Now, March has been a very slow month for me, which happens. You say, those start petering out, the big dips and stuff like that, as you continue to get more emails out there, stuff like that. I'll be going on my third year of voiceover, starting my third year of voiceover here in the next week. And I've just seen it getting better slowly. Now, hopefully, we'll continue to see moving upward in my income and my jobs and stuff like that. So we already are, but it's just something that I have to continue to believe in. And even when it's slow, just keep putting in the time and putting out the emails and doing all the stuff that I did. That's gotten me to where I'm at right now, and not stopping because it's like, oh, well, maybe it's not working. Who knows? You could be right at the brink. I could be right at the brink of pushing that boulder past the point where it's starting to be more and more busy and stuff like that. So I know that's obvious or cliche or whatever you want to call it, but why give up? For me, it's like, I'm not going to give up. I've already put in 2 years of work into it. It would be foolish for me to stop. So anyway, thanks for that. We'll have our numbers next. Those will be in their own respective playlists. And yeah, check out that if you're interested. If you ever have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments, or you can email us at hudsonbarsness@yahoo.com. No spaces or uppercased letters. So see you at numbers.